Welcome to Caracomp Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
A facial recognition system can score a 95% match and still be completely wrong. Not because the algorithm failed, because the face it analyzed never existed in the first place. If you work anywhere near identity verification, insurance investigations, or legal evidence, this changes your entire workflow. According to Gartner, by next year, 30% of enterprises will stop trusting identity verification that relies on facial biometrics alone. That's not a fringe prediction, that's the benchmark your clients, courts, and insurers are already moving toward. Today I'm walking you through why a high-confidence facial match no longer proves what you think it proves, what courts now expect instead, and the one verification step that stops over 90% of deepfake fraud. So what broke between the algorithm and the evidence? A facial recognition tool does one job. It compares two images and produces a similarity score. That score tells you how likely it is that two faces belong to the same person. And over the last decade, those scores have gotten remarkably accurate. That genuine improvement is exactly why so many people assume a 95% match is court-ready proof. The tool got better, so the results must be trustworthy. But that accuracy only holds when the input data is real. Feed the same algorithm a deepfake, a synthetically generated face, and it'll still produce a confident score. It just won't mean anything. Garbage in, garbage out, even at 99% confidence. And deepfakes aren't theoretical anymore. According to research compiled by Keyless, over 40% of companies encountered a deepfake-related threat in 2025. North Korean operatives used synthetic faces to pass remote job interviews. That's not a lab experiment. That's adversarial use in the field, right now. So what about systems that layer multiple checks on top of facial recognition? Surely adding liveness detection or multi-factor authentication solves this? Not necessarily. According to reporting from MEA Digital Integrity, an Indonesian financial institution got hit with 1,100 deepfake attacks targeting its loan application service. That system had multiple authentication layers. The deepfakes were sophisticated enough to bypass them anyway. The attackers didn't need to crack the algorithm, they just needed to control what the algorithm saw. The forensic analogy that keeps coming up in the literature is fingerprints. A fingerprint can be a perfect match, but if you can't prove chain of custody, if you can't show the court you didn't contaminate it, cherry-pick it, or forge it, the judge won't accept it. Facial evidence now faces the same standard. A match score alone doesn't tell the court where the image came from, whether it was altered or whether it depicts a real human being. So what does the court want instead? The industry calls it biometric plus evidence. That means the face is just one layer. You also need device metadata showing where and when the image was captured. You need cryptographic audit trails proving the file wasn't tampered with between capture and submission. And increasingly, you need behavioral biometrics, patterns that a deepfake simply can't replicate. Behavioral biometrics track things like typing rhythm and error patterns, how someone moves a mouse at the micro level, touchscreen pressure and swipe signatures, even how a person holds their device and navigates an app. A deepfake can clone a face. It cannot clone how that person's device behaves in their hands. And this threat is about to get worse. By mid-2026, AI systems are expected to generate deepfake responses in real time during video calls, adapting facial expressions naturally, maintaining eye contact, responding to unexpected questions. Video evidence, once considered the gold standard, becomes just as vulnerable as a still photograph. But one finding stands out above all the rest. According to research cited by TechSAA, independent verification through a separate channel stops over 90% of deepfake fraud. The reason is almost embarrassingly simple. Deepfake attacks depend on you reacting in the moment, inside the same channel the attacker controls. Step outside that channel, make a phone call, send a separate verification request, check a second data source, and the fraud collapses. The shift isn't from bad technology to better technology. It's from trusting a single score to demanding a trail of proof. The face becomes one piece of evidence, not the evidence. So, 3 things to remember. A high-confidence facial match only means something if the face it analyzed is real. Courts and enterprises now expect facial evidence to arrive with metadata, audit trails, and behavioral signals that deepfakes can't fake. And adding just one independent verification step outside the original channel stops the vast majority of synthetic identity fraud. Next time you see a confidence score, don't ask how high it is. Ask what proves the input was genuine. The full story's in the description if you want the deep dive.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, Caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.